Hey kids, you're about to listen to a comedy podcast. That means that none of this is medical advice. If you need medical advice or medical care, please contact your doctor.
Welcome to the Jock podcast featuring Dr. London Smith.
Hello, and welcome to the Jock podcast, where we discuss fitness and health and how to incorporate our modern understanding of science and medicine into our daily lives, but without it being so boring. I'm your host, drlondonsmith.com. I would like to begin by apologizing to our listeners. We have received some feedback about the excessive amount of technical medical terms that I've been using, such as aldehyde dehydrogenase and trundle bed pan. So I'll try to temper my terminology to a simpler one in the future. Here to help with that is our producer Cameron.
Are we recording a podcast episode?
Yeah.
You know, I came to you because I'm sick.
Yeah.
And you're a doctor.
Yeah.
And then you started recording the podcast.
But that's what we do when you're in the room. So I don't know how to.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It is my fault. I definitely understand that.
Okay, you want a doctor? We have Band-Aids, I think. Let me root around here in the drawer.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I think we had a Band-Aid. Do you like Flintstones, or are you a Powerpuff Girls type?
Powerpuff Girls for sure, but you know.
Okay, yeah, the empowerment, feminism, yeah. Okay, trying to think of what the other stuff I can do is. Oh,
you can't even think of other doctor stuff.
I'm just like, well, it's one of these things where like I get the same type of patient all the time because I've been specializing in these very small, like skinned knees has really been my main thing for a bit. Oh, sorry, Band-Aid. It's on the knee, of course. Hold on. Okay, SpongeBob. Do you like SpongeBob?
Yeah, but you're just removing the Powerpuff Girl Band-Aid from my arm, and it looks like you're putting it on my knee. Yes, I like SpongeBob. Are you just asking? Are you just surveying?
Well, I got a Sharpie here, and I'm going to draw SpongeBob on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, there you go.
What else? I guess,
this is one of my issues, is I don't like going to the doctor, and the doctor saying, what else? What else can I do? Like, that is a huge red flag to me.
In what way? Well, because, like, a lot of my medical training was done at a stand-up comedy club.
No, I mean, you've always described yourself as like a Patch Adams type.
Yeah.
I assumed that was more just because of the nose. Like, you have a nose that looks like a clown nose, but that's just your nose.
Yeah, well, just...
like bright red circle.
Well, it was a graft, yeah. It was an organ donation.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But yeah, I got it from clown. Anyway, so that's our producer, Cameron. He's... on the up and up. I think he's recovering from whatever he has.
Yeah, I mean, the Band-Aid's working, I think.
Cameron, we have a sponsor today.
Really?
Yeah. No, it's true. It's Caldera Lab. First impressions really matter. And if you're not taking care of your skin, that's going to be the first thing that someone notices. Unless, like, it's just you have a lot of hair or something, then that could be something. But in any case, everyone will think you're either way old if you don't take care of your skin, or that you just don't care about your appearance. So you can show them that you do and make a great first impression with Caldera Lab, where compliments are guaranteed.
And we've been working with Caldera for a while now. And we've had tons of great testimonies from our listeners. A lot of people are mad about one of our very happy listeners, someone who listens to the podcast, someone who got Caldera products, really loved them, but people are sort of upset at us because of that, which, by the way, that's not my fault that someone likes a good product.
Yeah, and like to blame us, or even honestly to even blame him, like someone finds something that they love and they manage to innovate within their own world, that they use their influence to try something new in life. People do career changes even late in life. So yeah, I don't think that people should be mad.
But a lot of people have been upset with us because one of our famous listeners, Santa Claus, also known as the Red Demon, Santy Panty, and Mr. Chris, he started trying out the skin cream, and it worked so damn well. and took years off of his face that he has sort of pivoted to being a face model. Or as he says it, a head model. He says it's not just the face, it's the whole head because your hair is on your head. And I'm like, okay, I guess. Well, I get that your hair's probably in the shot, but if it's still focused on your face, you're a face model.
Yeah. He does say nothing, the neck is out. They can't photograph the neck at all. None of that makes it in. But he also said because just the way he applies the skincare, the Caldera products, it also includes his fingers. So he's a finger and face/head model.
Yeah.
And he's been, how he markets himself.
He's been very, very successful, which I would argue he was already very successful, and he was already on pretty much every magazine, every candy bar. Like he's on millions of products already. But he is sort of it sounds like he's taking a step back from the whole Santa stuff, the gift-giving stuff that he's known for, and is focusing hard on modeling and the, let's just say, LA modeling lifestyle. He's very familiar with snowstorms. Yeah.
People have noticed he's not as well-rounded as he was.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm not talking knowledge base.
He's smarter than ever.
He's remarkably, and this is not a claim that Caldera Lab tends to make, but he does seem to be hyper intelligent, which might have been just him cooped up in the North Pole before that kept him sort of exposed to the same ideas, and now that he's broadening his horizons a little bit through travel, maybe it's changing.
It might be just the like you were saying before, people, you're guaranteed compliments. And maybe it's just people didn't notice how smart you were beforehand. Or also, people are just going to call you smart no matter what because they're just trying to compliment you. Either is a win.
The Caldera Lab, just to let you in on what Santa's been doing here, Caldera Lab creates these high-performance men's skincare products, and the regimen leads off their product lineup. It's a twice-a-day routine to transform your skin. Caldera Lab knows the skincare world has been heavily female-driven. It was the Wild West for men, but now, once again, we have this kind of internationally famous person who's really up to the game. So the regimen includes 3 products. It's a clean slate, the base layer, and the good. The clean slate starts ends your day. It's a face wash that leaves all skin types refreshed. The base layer is your daily moisturizer to hydrate your skin and jumpstart your day full of confidence. And then the good is your go-to multifunctional serum at night to help your skin look tighter and smoother, as well as to help reduce the visibility of wrinkles and fine lines. Every drop of this serum is packed with 3.4 million antioxidants to protect your skin. Then there's the Caldera Lab Icon Eye Serum. It addresses the 3 most common skin concerns around the eye, which is fine lines, dark circles, and puffiness. Caldera Lab is leader in men's skincare, made with only top-tier ingredients, and clinical trials have found that 94% of men's skin showed an overall younger-looking appearance after using Caldera Lab for a few weeks.
And you can definitely say that Santa Claus is in that percentage because he's sort of pivoted hard towards this being his entire brand. He put out a press release that said that most kids this year will be receiving either skincare products or signed headshots of himself.
Yeah, and it sounded like he's really leaning towards just the headshots. This thing's worth $1 million because my signature's on it, and guess what? It's free for me, baby. That's what he keeps saying. He says baby a lot now. Yeah. And
it's like, hey, baby.
Say, once again, that it's not, he hasn't said that Christmas is canceled necessarily, but it does not seem to be on his priority list, and we are pretty close to the day now, so
it's getting pretty dang close, and he keeps saying, he's like, I'll get to the Christmas stuff. He's like, Christmas is going to be a little different this year. He keeps stressing that, and he's never said that in the 1,000 years that he's been alive. It's always been pretty consistently the same.
So if you want to be like Santa in this sense, 1 minute morning and night is all it takes to reduce your wrinkles, fine lines, and signs of aging. And just for our audience, we have an exclusive offer, the best offer available anywhere. Use code JOCKDOC at calderalab.com and get 20% off right now. That's 20% off with code JOCKDOC at calderalab.com and make unforgettable first impressions where compliments are guaranteed. It's 20% off with code JOCKDOC at calderalab.com.
And actually, Santa asked us to read this. If you want to get the best deal that Santa has to offer, to his audience, which I guess is children, just send him a Christmas list and he'll find the headshot equivalent of the gift you want. He apparently has a wide spectrum. I saw a few of them. He was playing tennis in one. He was a doctor in one. Yeah, skateboarding in one.
Just in different outfits. Yeah.
Santa hat's on in every one, by the way. Different outfits.
And
Santa hat's on in every one.
Yeah. Well, he has said Caldera can fix a lot of things so far that it hasn't touched the hat hair as much.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's just not something that they're directly addressing.
Just Christmas is not canceled. I just want to throw that out there. Stop sending us hate mail and getting mad at us. It's just going to be different this year. A little different.
And later, Cameron tells me that we can expect a special... Oh, wait, no, sorry. You gave me the notes on this too. We are actually really prepared and ready for this guest. Normally, we're flying blind, but today, just their PR team was really pretty emphatic that we need to know what we're talking about for this. But before we move on to address all these issues, I would like to address a bit of listener feedback. So for a long time, our listener demographic was primarily composed of boys who resided in the back street for so long that they unfortunately formed a band. But now we're trying to listen to all these bot accounts that download our podcast. So these are responses to our TikTok where we responded to. FYP means for you page, not what y'all thought. It's called that because it finds content that you might like. Crying laughing emoji, crying laughing emoji, crying laughing emoji. User Junior Lee 87 said, quote, "The podcast should be called People Learning TikTok Acronyms." Great idea. So this is a question about branding, I think.
Right. Which I think that is fair, right? Like TikTok is, last time I checked, TikTok is trending.
Yes.
So TikTok is trending. And so I understand from a fan perspective, like, hey, let's change the name of the podcast from Jock Podcast to People Learning TikTok Algorithms and acronyms. However, there's an issue with this that I...
Okay, well, I mean, for you've drawn so many pictures of what our logo could be if we ever got a good one, and none of them have TikTok in the name.
None of them have TikTok, but also, our podcast is the Jock Podcast, and you're the doc, I'm sort of the jock, and I feel like in a podcast called Learning About TikTok Acronyms or whatever it's called, there's no jock aspect at all. And that this podcast focuses so much on sports, athleticism, working out, hitting up babes at the gym, and all of these different things. And it doesn't sound like that would translate to a TikTok acronym podcast. Where's the jock in it?
Yeah, that's frustrating. And I appreciate, thank you so much for this feedback, but I don't think we are going to try to pivot a little bit towards changing the name of our podcast. We are going to try to, but I don't think that we'll be able to do it in such a big, grand way. It'll be more in subtle ways that we'll try to do that. But thank you so much.
And
very
please
helpful.
Don't, just because we listened to your advice and sort of, declined it a bit, please do not kill yourself. That has been an issue with a lot of the people who have written to the show lately, especially. That seems to be a consistent thing, is when we don't take the advice, we then get sort of we get their obituary in the mail.
So thank you so much for that feedback, and we are going to try to tweak our podcast to fit that. Next, from user at Deep Fried Teeth 9, quote, "Bruh, y'all gotta learn TikTok lingo." Buddy, I know, okay? And I'm trying so hard, but people keep getting on to me about my Riz, and I've got too much or not enough. I can't tell, okay?
Well, your Riz is fucked. Everyone knows that. I would say that's become a major component of the podcast, is whether or not London's Riz is a failure today. But to me, when I see TikTok lingo, the only TikTok lingo I can think of is click, click, click as the second hand goes around. Because a TikTok is a clock.
Because of the clocks. Yeah. So I hope that answers the question. Thank you so much for your feedback. And keep helping us keep this podcast right on track. We have one more, and this is one of my favorites because it has been reported and it was hidden, but we liked our account, did like the comment. This is from user at Purple Eyebrow. Quote, "Are y'all actually this stupid?" End quote. So first of all, thank you so much for this feedback. This is a good question. One that I've been asked a number of times in my life at sort of critical transition points, I feel like, when I'm deciding what to do next with myself. Not this stupid, no. I guess is the main conclusion I've come to at most of the times. Like,
I mean, my reply would be, "Are you the police?" Because I've only heard the police ask this question, and they do ask it quite a bit, and I'm always like, okay, read me my Miranda rights. Don't just sit there and say, "Are you so stupid? Why are you so stupid, Cameron? We can't keep coming to your house for these stupid reasons."
And the reasons are stuff like you have your bathtub and you filled up the gasoline and you have it lit on fire, but it's like you've managed to layer it kind of like some science experiment, I guess, where it never goes out, and it's got a layer of water in. I don't know.
Well, people just don't appreciate science these days. That's part of the issue,
and that's the experiment, right?
Yeah, when like the police or the fire department come over to help me with my science experiment, there's a lot of the time they're not helping at all. They're just saying sort of what this commenter said, like, "Why are you so stupid? Can your stupidity please leave us alone? I was asleep. You didn't call 911. You called my house." Things like that.
But you keep calling him officer regardless. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So anyway, I hope that helps. Thank you so much for that feedback. That's really helpful. And keep it up. We'd love to hear more comments and questions. And hopefully we can address them in as academic a manner as possible. But now for today's medical topic, Lewy Body Dementia. Lewy Body Dementia has features of both Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease. So we've already talked about Parkinson's before, but in Lewy Body Dementia, the early symptoms of the dementia are predominated by visual hallucinations. So rather than, say, in Alzheimer's where the memory tends to go first, it's visual hallucinations start. So other symptoms include Parkinsonian motor features and fluctuating mental status. And the classic thing with Parkinsonian motor features would be like the pill roll tremor in the hands, things like that. So, some difficulty initiating movement. Since this is sort of a combo, Lewy body dementia that is, it's a combo of Parkinson and Alzheimer's, you'll treat the Parkinson symptoms with dopamine agonists and replacement, as described in our previous episode, 214, and you'll treat the Alzheimer's symptoms with acetylcholinesterase inhibitors, such as donepezil, rivastigmine, and galantamine, which are all equal in efficacy.
Now, is there a way to treat this but still keep the hallucinations?
Because
that to me is like a superpower.
To see stuff, yeah.
To see crazy stuff, that's like you get a free movie every single, day of your life.
Yeah.
And it's new.
Yeah, no, I can see the case for that. I'd say like a lot of people do recreational drugs instead of, acquire dementia.
Huh. Interesting.
So I don't know if you're, or just, here's another one. They also just go to like the movie theater and they watch a movie there. Some people do this without anything else to modify their system because people, like storytellers have already made a film. You can be in this thing for like 90 minutes straight and it's all stuff on the screen. Just that last note on the acetylcholinesterase inhibitors for Alzheimer's symptoms. Those do increase the acetylcholine level. That's the idea. And yeah, I think that about concludes that. All right. Well, Cameron, you and I are both pretty pumped about this guest. We don't normally get name guests, I guess. It just doesn't happen for us that often.
I mean, we've had some pretty big celebrities in the past. We had Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, but
etc.
he wasn't super talkative in that episode. I guess I can't.
No, it
oversell
really
how
seemed like
talkative
he
this
hated being here.
Yeah. I kind of hated him too, if I'm being honest. Like, it was mutual. But our guest today, I'll say, he's a celebrated author. Their PR team reached out to us. It's going to sound a little bit scripted, a little bit guided because just there's so much to get through. And it's just so many accomplishments. So, but I guess without further ado, hello there. This is Mr. If I'm pronouncing this right, Hermy T. Elf.
Yeah, that's right. Hermy T. Elf. You can just call me Hermy. A lot of people are unfamiliar with the last name.
Yeah. Is that French? Portuguese?
The T is really just stands for the.
Okay.
And I wanted to class it up a little bit for the book, so I just shortened it to T.
Great. Okay. Yeah. I'll make the notes here. I'm sorry. Your PR team, like they were great, but like they didn't convey that.
The Yeti.
The idea we could kind of take those toys, and incidentally, we didn't realize until afterwards they'd really gotten used to that island. We said, "Oh, let's get them off of there. They must be having a horrible time," and they kind of like, I don't know if it was the excitement of the moment or getting to meet Santa. I don't know what it was for them. But very quickly they realized, hey, wait a minute, we've been taken from our home. It's not a hospitable place, but we've made it our home. And we're not part of the family, right? The Santa Claus toy family, but we've created our own family. And all that was ripped away from them. I'm sorry this keeps going so dark. I mean, it's just, you can't even tell even the documentary, as factual as it is, there's just some things you don't see.
We've actually had, like, in years, Christmases past, we actually had an elf come on the show as well and talked about how the dark side of the North Pole and the sort of, they felt like a cog in a larger system of abuse and ultimately slavery, because, I mean, it doesn't sound like y'all were paid in any capacity.
Well, and I hate to harp on this, but like they were pretty. Tom, the PR guy, was pretty emphatic that like let's not label it.
Did I say the S word again? I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
It just keeps coming up.
Well, every time you want to say the S word, just think Santa's helpers. And just to give my PR team some cred, I do talk about lighter moments in the books that have come out. Darkness is fine for selling to a certain niche audience, but in reality, people want to be uplifted when, they think they're hearing from, an elf or one of Santa's helpers, somebody involved in the process of giving gifts and making people happy. So I definitely lean towards that vibe in, most of the writing that I do.
Do you want me to, I actually have, this is another sort of, I hate to give all the credit to people, but like I am trying to follow their sort of rigmarole here. So if I could ask, your books, Growing Up Misfit and Misfitting into Society, offer a unique perspective on embracing one's quirks. What inspired you to write these books, and what message do you hope readers take away from them?
Oh, well, that's funny. I don't know if you guys mind if I mention other podcasts on here, because it's kind of like cross promotion, I guess. But I did a podcast recently, and because this comes from the PR people, they asked the same question, of course. But I was on SmartList, and I think it was Sean Hayes who asked that same question. At the time, I hadn't even seen the press release. I thought it was just one of his stupid questions, but it turns out it was from the PR company. But I mean, there's some validity to it, because not only, the Misfit toys are sort of this symbol, right? But I realize it's a symbol for everybody. We're all misfit in some way. Whether it's not fitting in with, the group we have to work with, or the place we live doesn't make us happy. So, we don't feel like we fit in. So misfit is this sort of identifier for everybody. And it's the question of being able to find out, what is your misfitness?
Okay. Yeah. what label do you seems like a negative one that maybe is actually a like great unique identifier for you?
Exactly. And I started out with more of these sort of people that identify or beings that identify as fantasy beings because I had kind of an in with them because of the Santa Claus connection. So like, you know, the big bad wolf, for instance, you know, a misfit. He's, you know, people regard him as being this horrific, angry asshole. And in reality, he's just somebody looking for some friends. And people just can't get past the big teeth, the bad breath, the sort of unquenchable desire to devour people and animals and everything else that moves. And so it's a little bit of a dead end helping those beings because they're kind of trapped in a script. And the big bad wolf isn't suddenly become the big friendly wolf.
It can be hard working with convicts that are on death row, like the big bad wolf, because they a lot of times they don't really see the point of trying to better themselves. Like rehabilitation isn't even on the table because you know they're going to be executed. Like there's not really a better way to say it.
Sort of like for the misfit, they need to learn to embrace their again, I sort of coined this phrase, but their misfitness. It's, you know, you can, once you embrace it, you can then look beyond it. When it is all encompassing and that's all you think about, that drives all your decisions. But once you embrace it, realize you're not the only misfit toy on the island, then you can get out of yourself and begin to perhaps help another person with their misfitness, or at least, you know, widen your own world and don't focus on the misfitness quite so much.
Now, I have another question from your PR team. It says, you can drop me from the tallest building and I'll be fine, but if you drop me in water, I die. What am I?
That's from my PR team?
Yeah, it seems to be some sort of a riddle that your PR team said that I guess you had the answer for, because I don't know what that would be.
Oh, okay. So could you repeat the question?
You can drop me from the tallest building and I'll be fine. But if you drop me in water, I die. What am I?
Yeah, no, I don't know why that question's there. It's not something from my book.
Now I'm questioning, is your PR team connected to Santa in any capacity?
Not officially, not that I know of. I mean, the fat man has his fingers in a lot of pies. I mean, literally pies.
Oh, sorry. PR team thing again. We don't want to do body shaming here. So yes, sure, he's a fat man, but we will, if we're gonna say it, we're gonna say morbidly obese. Let's just be kind.
He calls himself that. So I don't know how that affects. I understand what you're trying to do, but he always refers to himself in the third person as "let the fat man get it." That's sort of like when he's going to pick up a check, which is a very rare thing, by the way. But I'm sensitive to you and your listenership, so the morbidly obese man, we can refer to him as that.
I mean, they also, the other notes here are, you can say horrifyingly morbidly obese.
Okay, that's kind of refreshing, actually.
The chunker tunker, once again, like it's just this sort of PC culture, whatever. We have to kind of adapt to whatever will sound nice.
Okay. How about the big gift full of nothing?
It's not on the list, but it's not like it's not forbidden.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Sorry, and like I get, like, I assume they're just trying to make you look good. I don't want someone to clip this and spin it the wrong way.
Yeah, I hear you, and I thank you for that. Yeah, I mean, he is a ripoff artist. I mean, let's be. I mean, he's never made a toy in his life. By the way, right? He's the guy who, I designed the toys. It's like, he doesn't even do that. You know, ho, ho, ho. I gave him the middle ho.
Really? And you didn't see any like royalties from that or anything?
No, it was just, his thing used to be ho, and then he does what he thinks is like a funny, like a little cough, and then ho. Oh, ho. And I'm going, what is that? There's no rhythm. Yeah.
I read his memoir.
Yeah. He swore up and down that he came up with the middle hoe.
It was called the middle hoe.
No, the middle hoe was mine. Middle hoe was mine. It's why I'm not welcome. The only reason that they let me use the studio at the workshop right now is because everybody's busy. Tonight's the night for the big Christmas party that they have for the elves before they have to really kind of get busy.
And I'm going to be honest, it's cool that you have a studio that you can record in and we can have this conversation, but Santa sort of pivoting to a Joe Rogan style podcaster. I'm not crazy about some of the stuff he says, right? Like, I think he had a bigger impact when he was sort of hands off and people didn't know his inner thoughts about literally everything. PC culture and the woke mind virus and all these things that he keeps talking about.
Yeah, no, remember the days when, the only way you could reach him most of the year was writing him a letter. And then he had his Santa's helpers at the department stores. They would report back to him that they were like his little doppelgangers running around dressed like him, which I thought was a bad precedent to set, by the way.
Well, in his defense, because I've done this before. I feel like we've all done that before, though.
You're talking about Dr. London's helpers.
Yeah, we've all done it. I don't want to say, because I think if it's done well and if it's done properly, then it's not seen as oh, you shouldn't do that. Because I have a really distinct, Santa's got his this very generic style, whereas mine's pretty specific to me.
Yeah, the lab coat.
The lab coat. So, I'll have my people in hospitals that are all the Dr. London's helpers, and just to clear I don't think that the idea itself is bad. I think the application.
I agree. The idea, though, that somehow these department store Santa Claus are reporting back to him and telling him what all these kids want. Santa. I mean, this is the gimmick. Santa already knows what everybody wants. It's part of his deal. And so what's the point of doubling up and making kids have to say it to some stranger who happens to be dressed up like him? It's so weird.
It's like the taxation system. The government knows how much I owe, but I have to figure it out on my own. And if I get it wrong, I'm going to go to jail. And in the same way, it's okay, Santa already knows what I want, but if I don't ask it, I'm not going to get it.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Just to go back, because whenever we ask the patients their symptoms, whenever Dr. London's helpers do that, sure, we already know, but I think for that it's a part of establishing rapport. Just to distinguish it from.
Well, I wish he would write back then if it's going to be rapport, because it's just me writing a letter to him every year.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, you never get a letter back.
Oh, sorry. Were you talking about to Santa or to Dr. London?
Both.
Okay.
Both.
It's the digital age. Writing is so hard. Plus, I have to go to the.
Well, you could at least do a.
You can't
form.
You can't just blame.
You could do a form email. I mean, how hard is that? At least we get the feeling where somebody's responding to us. And I'm sorry to bring it up because I've only written you a couple of times, and it's funny, Cameron, you bring it up because I always thought, wow, little Santa. Just when I wouldn't get an answer back, little Santa.
Yeah.
I mean, no offense.
You say no offense, but here we are. We can move on. What was the next question?
Well, the next question I have is, which creature walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs in the evening?
That's I know this because this actually used to be the passcode to get into the workshop. It's man. It's a child in the morning, which is at the beginning of their life, and then they're an adult, and then they're an old man walking with a cane.
Wait, sorry. What about woman? Is woman an answer as well?
It says man. I mean, this is just classic North Pole sexism, honestly. No offense to you North Poleans, but you are a bit backwards progressively in a lot of ways.
If it wasn't for the movies, would you even see a female elf? Because they're not up there because we're asexual. We're not male or female. But they didn't want to promote that either. When the documentary came out, there was no sign of that. It was just, there's boy elves and girl elves.
Now, you're into psychiatry, have you done sessions with like Cornelius or with Rudolph, these people that you sort of grew up with and have known for a long time?
Yeah, I mean, not to use a dentist pun, but I cut my teeth on those people. I mean, it was, how I started out before, I had a license or anything. You got to kind of dabble a little bit. At least I did. And yeah, I got Cornelius, on the couch and talked to him about his obsession with silver and gold. I mean, it's kind of a tape loop. Silver and gold. All I want is silver and gold. And it just kind of can't get him off of it. I tried hypnosis. I tried some mild drugs just to kind of like break him of the cycle. But he'd be right back in it again. He's out there now. He's out there right now. And it's what he's looking for. You call him a homeless man, which he is. He literally has no home. But he's not sad about it because he's looking for silver and gold. It's a constant search, constant quest.
And greed is sort of like the ultimate disease. You know what I mean? Like you can never have enough if that's what you're suffering from is this greed for more gold, more silver. This does bring me to another question that your team had sent us. It is what gets wetter and wetter the more it dries?
My underwear, wider and wider the more it dries.
No, hold on. I might have this. When I've gone swimming.
Well, Dr. Lennon, it wasn't a question for you.
Right.
What are your books? I want to hear about like what you've published.
Well, my first book was Growing Up Misfit. And it's a memoir, really. Where I talk about, going from toy making to dentistry and then into psychiatry.
Sorry,
I
just
think
to let you know that.
Yeah, go ahead.
The PR guy, Tom from the PR team, he did say keep the book stuff to a minimum here. He's like, he said like once it gets to that point, you want to try to close it out. Just so you know, I think we should keep listening and like it's great. Just let you know, like maybe.
Yeah. No. I'm willing to talk about, anywhere you guys want to go as far as, my career or, the time off between dentistry and psychiatry.
So the book is called Misfitting into into Society. Right.
Right. That's the new one. Yeah.
Right. And you have the other book that's already on shelf. A lot of people already have this, but Growing Up Misfit.
Right. Growing Up Misfit. Yeah.
And you can pick these up in stores. Is that true?
Some stores, Amazon certainly has them. I think they should be. You can pre-order the new one, Misfitting into Society, I think. And that's really where I kind of like deviate from, let's stop talking about kind of the past and talking about these fantastical creatures and mythological beings and really get into the nitty-gritty of how there are misfits. Like I said earlier, kind of all of us are misfits in a way. And this really is sort of like, how do you misfit into society so you don't necessarily have to worry about standing out when you realize everybody's got their issues they're dealing.
Yeah, okay. So they said like once you start getting all empathetic that we really should wind it up. Whenever you say like we should understand these people. I don't know what it is about Tom, your PR guy, but like they were so predictably clear about this. Like, really, once it gets to this point in the interview, once you say, relating to these misfits, once again, reiterating this point, that we're like, we should end this now.
Oh, well, let's if that's up to you, it's your show. I mean, I'm happy to go completely off the reservation and not worry about.
From the way they put it, they said, like, the going off the reservation is their worry, I think. They talked like that's the jumping off point, that's the trigger point, at which point we should cut you off, which I don't want to say it like that, but that's really the vibe that I got from them.
Oh, really? Like I'm I go out of control or something if I get off the script or I'm not publicizing the books. I mean,
well, it sort of seems like your PR team sees you as a bit of a misfit as well.
Yeah, doubtless.
Oh, I'm getting a text. Sorry. It does say, walk on the living, they don't even mumble. Walk on the dead, they mutter and grumble. And the answer is leaves. Again, this is a terrible riddle. Like, this is an awful riddle.
Why? Who is sending these? Is it Tom?
I don't know. It's from a different number each time, so it seems like they're almost spoofing numbers.
This has only happened once before, and fortunately, it was on the Tonight Show, and they don't really have any sort of live input. So they were texting, but it wasn't going anywhere, so it didn't really derail anything like it's doing here. I feel terrible about this. I mean, these crazy questions and this the weird advice they had about how to kind of manage me, like I'm going to go crazy.
Did you do, when you were on the Tonight Show, did you do some crazy shit with Jimmy Fallon, like play beer pong or like crack an egg on your head or something?
I did that that impression, the singing impression thing that he does, the wheel.
Oh yes, the roulette. Yeah.
So that was fun. I mean, he kicked my ass. I don't really do impressions, but
oh yeah, no, I mean, that's sort of the fun of Jimmy Fallon's show, is that everything he does is sort of like a vanity thing for himself, and you get to just sort of be there.
Yeah, I mean, he was a fun guy. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you he wasn't, but yeah, there's a little bit of Santa in him, if I can say that. I mean, I get it.
Yes, I see that for sure.
Okay, sorry. This is another PR. Like, I feel like when you start comparing the any major network host to a certain guy who we've already used the S word about, that maybe it's time to like shut things down.
I guess. I mean, sure. It's up to it's your show.
Yeah, well, just like like I said, you're a big guest, and we're trying to keep having big guests. We want to make this a regular thing, and so if I'm afraid that if we don't comply, that it will cause, like, that we won't get the next guest. You know what I mean?
Cards on the table. Tom told us if we're good, we can actually get the big man himself on the show. And no offense, we love having you on the show, but like,
oh, okay, no. I see. Okay, now I see where this is going, and I'm sure that if there wasn't some sort of like direct line to the morbidly obese man, I probably wouldn't be here tonight, would I?
Oh no, I wouldn't say that. Oh no, because we love having you on.
We could have. Yeah, no, you're so.
Yeah, I get it, guys. No. I get it. Fine. Hey, it's been a pleasure being here.
Yeah. Anything you want to promote? Like your books, obviously. Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
No, just get the book.
Yeah. Okay. Also, unrelated, you might want to listen to Succotash podcast. That's a great way to find comedy podcasts. No relation to us, really. We're kind of just pretty much a Joe Rogan style podcast / medical education podcast. That's really what we are. So, but thank you so much, Hermy.
Yeah. I really appreciate the whole kind of like medical simpatico, man. Just kind of really kind of like, hey, welcome me in. Don't really talk about my practice at all. But that's fine. No.
Well, just like you said the book. Like okay. Thank you so much to producer Cameron. Thank you to Jadul in the host.